What kind of teenage bullshit probably happened at Hogwarts that wasn't mentioned in the Harry Potter books? Getting really angsty and going for a self-reflective ride on your broom. Breakups via howler in the dining hall. I've always wondered what the limit to magical plastic surgery is. When Hermione had her teeth shrunk, she let Madame Pomfrey not only shrink them back to normal size, she also had them straightened. What is the extent of body modification available to people without having to go to a medical witch or wizard specialist? Sex under polyjuice potion, that'll duck someone up for a while. Given that children as young as 11 are given ones and potion ingredients, there have to be just so many weird genital injuries that Madame Pomfrey has to deal with. Wizard drugs. Fred and George were definitely slinging that fairy dust. So many prank harassment. When you can jinx somebody from across the room, and make them vomit slugs. That place would be packed full of asshole kids. Couples making an unbreakable vow to stay together and then either being miserable their entire lives or dying 6 months later. A lot of skirts, a lot of wands, and the first thing they teach you is Leviosa. What could go wrong? #X200B, edit, Grandma. The Engorgio charm. Either on boobs, asses, or dicks. #X200B, edit, Holy Macaroni, first gold, silver, and post with over 1K upvotes. Thank you, you kind, salacious internet strangers. People talk about having sex using polyjuice potion, and while it'd be creepy, you could also really mess up someone's life or reputation with it. You could polyjuice into someone you hate and break the rules, commit crimes, just be a dick, and they'd have to deal with the fallout. Edit. Thinking about this more, this leads to an even creepier idea. At any point in time the person you think is your friend is actually someone just polyjuiced as them. Hell, they even brought this up in the books with Moody. I don't know why wizards aren't more paranoid. Edit 2, yeah, I get it, polyjuice takes a month to make and uses rare ingredients. But you think t'd stop some rich asshole like Malfoy from smuggling it in and using it for totally petty purposes? Edit 3, seriously, if your post is nothing but a comment that polyjuice potion would be too hard for anyone but Hermione to make because she's so smart, miss me with that shit. Like 20 other people got there before you. I mean, at least a few wizard couples probably used a cloning spell to have a threesome without the need of a random third person. Or a wee wizard trying to create a real-life cat girl out of their cat. Voyeurism involving the paintings on the walls. It's a school with 100 empty classrooms and abandoned spaces with hundreds of horny teens running around. I want to know more about wizard birth control. They've gotta have better shit than we do. Flying under influence. There was definitely a Hogwarts fight club. Not just the which was more of a secret self-defense class, but a legit, underground dueling club with betting and shit. Harry and the gang getting high off wizard plant. You know, every year there was that student who refused to follow dress code. Full-length robe. Don't shame me. I am going thigh length. Wizard hat on sideways. #X200B, #X200B. Someone definitely used a spell to spy on the girls' changing rooms. People using polyjuice potion to see their classmates naked or have sex with celebrities. Edit. Half of you are telling me this is impossible because polyjuice potion is too hard to make and the ingredients are too rare, while the other half is telling me that this is canon in the Harry Potter world and frequently used by prostitutes. I don't know who to believe. I would say having sex in poorly concealed places during off hours. Boo at Snape finds a pair of kids in the snogging in the bushes during the Yule Ball and Goblet of Fire and deducts, like, 20 points each. Lots of loud, angsty music. During Harry's time at Hogwarts, you get the feeling there'd be a constant echo of the cure drifting through the corridors. All manner of fetish experimentation. Imagine the shit furries would get into with the Animagi. I always thought it'd make for a hilarious spin-off series if you followed classmates of Potters who were just getting high, getting in trouble, and thought Potter and the other main characters were nerds. Considering how many creative ways that us muggles come up with as ways to cheat on our homework or test, I wouldn't be surprised if wizards come up with some ridiculous ways too. Like an enchanted quill that wrote the answers for you. Or a frog that would ribbit each answer to you and you took a potion that lets you understand frogs for a couple hours. Maybe I go to class early and levitate a mirror above the smart kid's desk. These are just off the top of my head. Also, lots of bullying would probably be happening. What's stopping a bully from turning a nerd into a book and then shoving him in a bookshelf? No one would ever find him. Or a bully that cast a spell that every time you talk to a girl you shit your pants? Again, top of my head. Under a black light, the room of requirement looks like a Jackson Pollock painting. Lavender gave Ron 150 plus BJs. What exactly was Aberforth doing with those goats? Inappropriate charms can mean quite a few things. Memory charms to remove memories of bullying, abuse, rape, etc. I can see it being all too tempting for bullies to edit the memories of their victims to avoid punishment. Or kids like Harry modifying their memories to remove the memory of abuse suffered at the hands of parents. I bet they had 1,000 ways to cheat at everything. Senior prank day had to be amazing. It was during the 90s. Probably a wizard tried to create a Pokémon. If you put kids in a place where they interact non-stop and literally live together, they will just duck non-stop. Love potions nonchalantly used as either retaliation or to simulate reciprocated feelings. They basically constitute as rescinding consent when imbibed and have disconcerting implications that facilitate rape. It's not implausible to believe Voldemort's mother raped his muggle father who was under the influence of her love potion. He's incapacitated and unable to consent. Yet they're distributed by joke shops as a frivolity. Even brewed by the potion's master to exhibit his proficiency. The effect may only last a few minutes, but that is sufficient time to take advantage of someone with an induced compliance. Look at Ron's reaction. Had Romilda Vane demanded to have sex with him, he'd have complied immediately. Love potions in the hands of Tiangers? You know what would happen. Let's spawn a Dramarachine Reeve in the teacher's bedroom, the look on his face will be epic. Wizard drugs. Somebody boned Moaning Myrtle. James Potter was the one to pass on the invisibility cloak onto Harry. Going off his reputation in the book where he was portrayed as a bad boy rebel teen who was popular amongst his classmates, I think it'd be safe to assume he was definitely getting some ass back then. It must have been so easy for him to be sneaking girls back into his dorm and banging them. The girls could remain anonymous too because he could sneak them out just as easily as he brought them in. If there ever were an STD outbreak in Hogwarts, I'd definitely put my money on James as the culprit. It's not hard to see why a nerd, like Snape, Riphog, would be mad Lily was hanging with James. Nice guy syndrome, anyone? Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fireball shots. Yes, imagine a castle filled with hidden rooms, and hormonal teenagers with the ability to create more, along with anything else they might want. Add to the jealous BF and GF with abilities to snuff each other at any point and not get caught. Maybe J.K. should consider a horror story. More student deaths, lots more. You have a bunch of idiot kids running around with literal weapons of mass destruction in their back pockets, with seemingly no jinx active to prevent certain spells. So much kinky magical sex, masturbation, and practical jokes. Penis eruptus on your friend in class. Endless orgasmus. When you're alone. Shit like that. So many teenage boys being hit with the Aguameti spell because they are refusing to take a shower. I can kinda see why if you have some perverted ghost living in the showers and bathrooms creeping. Harry Potter and the Little Death. The implications around love potions and spells are disturbing to think about. Even the books touch on it a little bit with Voldemort's parents. Wild parties where people use magic to undrunk themselves so they can drink even more, and the insanity that ensues when those spells go wrong. Girls enjoying riding broomsticks. A severe misuse of Levi corpus, but that was kind of talked about. Don't, it's J.K. Rowling's secret account. She is going to use all these answers in a Twitter thread in a couple of days.